Today on Rust Belt Vintage Toy Repair, I'm going to restore this vintage 1977 Tyco Nite electric racing slot car set. One of the coolest toys I had growing up was my Tyco Nite electric racing slot car set. My dad gave me this slot car set for Christmas in 1978. Sadly, my original Tyco Nite electric racing slot car set is long gone. It was well played with and worn out to the point it was no longer usable and thrown out. One of the coolest things about this slot car set was that the headlights on the cars actually lit up. In addition, the guardrails glowed in the dark, and the sticker strips provided to be applied to the track glowed in the dark as well. Oops, almost forgot about the glow-in-the-dark light poles. I found a similar, although a little more sophisticated Tyco Nite electric racing slot car set on eBay for $50 plus shipping. Hoping to unlock my inner child, I decided to take a chance on this untested slot car set and purchased it immediately using the Buy It Now option. Unboxing. A week later, my 1977 Tyco Nite electric racing slot car set arrived in an LCD monitor box. It was well packed using the original monitor packing foam. The seller also wrapped the slot car box in the anti-scratch bag that once contained the monitor as well. The box top of my 1977 Tyco Nite electric racing slot car set was in pretty good shape. It looks like the majority of the slot car set's parts were present, although disorganized. An inventory was done to make sure all required parts were present. This Tyco slot car set came with instructions on what to do if parts were broken. I wonder if they will still honor it if I send back a broken part 48 years later. The back side of the instruction sheet provides troubleshooting steps for both Tyco train and slot car sets. Electrical testing. First, I tested the electric racing power pack. This converts the 120 volts AC or alternating current to roughly 25 volts DC direct current used for track power. As you can see, the electric racing power pack is producing the proper track power voltage of 25 volts DC. Next, the electric racing power pack was connected to the straight terminal track segment along with the plunger controllers, and the slot cars were placed on the track. This allowed the comprehensive testing of both the slot cars and controllers at the same time. I used a block of foam to prevent the slot cars from careening off of my workbench. Through testing, I had determined that the red controller functionality was intermittent. The white controller shows the proper resistance readings on the 2K range. Through resistance checks, I confirmed that the red controller was broken. Controller repair. As mentioned, the red controller was broken. In order to access its electromechanicals, you must pry apart the two halves with a jeweler's screwdriver. The controller is basically a rheostat or variable resistor with a slider controlled by the plunger mechanism. I had determined through continuity checks that there was a break in one of the red controller's wires that connects to the terminal track. I used a stick pin with my meter set to continuity to determine the location of the break. I cut off the broken wire segment and also cut the good wire to the same length. Then soldered the wires to the rheostat and contact. The red controller was then reassembled by pressing the two halves back together. Both controllers were then retested. Track cleaning and glow-in-the-dark tape installation. The 1977 Tyco Nite electric racing slot car set came with glow-in-the-dark sticker strips to apply to the track and guardrails. The guardrails were also made of glow-in-the-dark plastic. Many of the original stickers were still in place in glow-in-the-dark. the guardrails still glow as well. I decided to replace all glow-in-the-dark stickers as only some track segments still had them. For each track segment, the original glow-in-the-dark sticker strip was removed. Any sticker residue was removed with denatured alcohol. A model railroad track cleaner, which looks like a rectangular pencil eraser, was used to clean the metal strips embedded in the track. The end contacts on each track segment were cleaned with a model railroad track cleaner as well. Each track segment has the following information molded into the bottom. Made by Tyco in Hong Kong. Patent number for the track piece. The type of track and part number. Windex was then used to clean the track segment. A jeweler's screwdriver with a paper towel was used to clean the slots in the track segment. I attempted to use a tape slitter to cut the new glow-in-the-dark tape to the proper width. Unfortunately, the tape slitter was more of a tape shredder, and I had to abandon its use. I built my own tape slitter using a piece of thin plywood, a level, carpenter square, some small C-clamps, and a razor blade. The carpenter square was used as a straight edge to guide the razor blade. The glow-in-the-dark tape was taped to the thin plywood and snugged up against the level. I used small screws to accurately set the width of the glow-in-the-dark tape cuts. It took some skill to apply the glow-in-the-dark tape down the center line of the curved track segments. I used the O in LOK to center the glow-in-the-dark tape at the ends of the track segment. This designation is on both ends of the track segment. Once I finished applying the glow-in-the-dark tape to the center line of all track segments, I also applied it to the inside of the glow-in-the-dark guardrails. The glow-in-the-dark tape applied to the guardrails and the track has a really cool luminescent effect. It's really cool to see the glow-in-the-dark tape roll luminesce as well. All pier supports and light poles were cleaned using my go-to cleaner, Windex. Then they were treated to a coat of Armorall in order to restore the old plastic's luster. The controllers and electric racing power pack were cleaned using Windex as well. They were also treated to a coat of Armorall. Track assembly and testing. Here was the track assembly process. The track looks really cool in the dark. I decided not to install the light poles. During track assembly, I noticed that a lot of the track segments had one or more of the two required tabs broken off. Here shows the most common problem with a smaller, more fragile tab missing. Without these two tabs, the track segment does not make good electrical contact with the other track segments, and the slot car stops dead in its tracks. If purchasing a vintage Tyco Nite slot car set, I recommend verifying with the seller that the track tabs are in place, or purchase a set with a more durable press here to unlock style that is more forgiving electrically when one tab is broken. By the time I removed all the track segments with broken tabs that weren't electrically sound, I could only build this basic oval track. I used a newer Walther's lifelike slot car which was compatible with the Tyco slot car track to test. Using my Walther's lifelike slot car, I tested both slot car lanes and controllers. I may do a follow-up video when all the broken track pieces have been replaced and I could set up the full layout. Slot car repair. A previous owner applied glow-in-the-dark sticker stripes to the slot cars. I didn't like the look and carefully removed them using a razor blade so as not to hopefully take off too much paint from the slot car's shell. Here are the slot car's shells with the stickers removed. The top shell is held in place to the chassis with tabs. You simply need to pull the shell away from the chassis in order to remove. Highlighted in this picture are the curve hugger magnets that hold the slot car down to the track, attracted to the ferrous metal strips embedded in the track segments. Here are the slot cars with the top shells removed. Each Tyco Nite slot car is equipped with a grain of wheat incandescent light bulb that lights the slot car's headlights. A Zener diode is used as a voltage regulator to keep the grain of wheat light bulb at a constant intensity. The contacts that ride along the metal rails for power were pretty worn on these slot cars. I typically flip-flop them on each car in order to get a little more life out of them. The slot car's contacts can be removed by pressing against the contacts here towards the front of the slot car chassis. You must be careful not to lose these springs when flip-flopping the contacts. Here are the flip-flop contacts on the slot cars. The pinion and rear axle with drive gear were removed for cleaning. Denatured alcohol on a Q-tip was used to clean the inside of the slot car's chassis. An old toothbrush was used to clean the teeth of both the drive and pinion gears. The Bell 107 plastic-friendly model train oil was used to lubricate both the front and back bearings of the PM permanent magnet direct current motor. The pinion and rear axle with drive gear were then reinstalled. The tires after 48 years had become hard and cracked. They were replaced with new urethane tires acquired on eBay. The old slot car tires crumbled during the removal process. Here is a picture of the new installed urethane tires. The same treatment was given to the other slot car chassis. Time to test each slot car chassis. One of the slot car's shells was missing the headlight assembly. Luckily, I had another shell with this part. The headlight assembly was moved to the slot car shell that had it missing. The slot car shells were cleaned both on the inside and out with my go-to cleaner, Windex. A tape head cleaner swab was used to clean hard-to-reach spots in the slot car's shells. At this point, it was time to mate the shell to the chassis. During this process, you need to slide the grain of wheat bulb into the headlight assembly. The shell just snaps in place to the chassis. And the slot cars were ready for final testing. Final testing. The basic oval track setup I had come up with due to so many broken track segments is much less exciting than the one advertised on the box. Even this basic setup looks pretty cool in the dark with the slot car's headlights illuminated. It is much easier to see the glow-in-the-dark strips and railings in the still shot. Box cleaning and repair. My 1977 Tyco Nite electric racing slot car set box was in pretty good shape for its age. I love the cool graphics. I first addressed the cleaning of the box bottom, which was made of molded styrofoam. The outside was thoroughly cleaned with my go-to cleaner, Windex, followed by the cleaning of the inside of the molded foam box bottom. Every nook and cranny of the inside was cleaned. The box top was cleaned with Windex as well. For some reason, the electric toy caution warning is of a different font, possibly due to some government legislation. The inside of the box top was cleaned with Windex as well. Then the box top outside was treated to a coat of Armor All in order to bring back the luster of the laminated cardboard. I needed something to prop up the box top during repair. I used the wooden cabinet of a reel-to-reel tape player I was repairing for this purpose. I used white reinforced water-activated packing tape to fix the corners of the box top from the inside. One corner was beyond repair. Elmer's Craft Bond glue was used to fix box flaps that had broken free. This glue dries clear. A cast iron solder stand was used to secure the box flap in place while the glue dried. Tears in the box were mended with Elmer's Craft Bond glue as well. The cleaned and repaired box top looks pretty good considering its age. The 1977 Tyco Nite electric racing slot car set box does a great job of storing this complex slot car set into a small space that could easily be stored under a bed or in a closet. Conclusion. I had a lot of fun restoring this vintage slot car set. It brought back many wonderful childhood memories. The oval track configuration I had to resort to due to so many broken track segments was a little disappointing. It still looked pretty cool in the dark. If interested in owning your own vintage Tyco Nite electric racing slot car set, I highly recommend avoiding purchasing sets equipped with this 2-tab track system. The track segment is useless if one tab breaks. I recommend purchasing a set with a press here to unlock style that is more forgiving electrically when one tab is broken. Thank you for watching this video on restoring this 1977 Tyco Nite electric racing slot car set. Please like this post, subscribe to Rust Belt Vintage Toy Repair so that you're alerted to my future posts.